So that's what the art of allowing that we've been talking about for all of these years really is. It's about understanding that life is going to cause you to expand and that you have options of going along with it or not. And mostly, we love you very much, mostly, you want manifestations to improve so that you can have a good feeling response to them. And we got to give it to you. When you're looking at good feeling manifestations, you do feel pretty good. But it's not deliberate creation. It's not the work. That's regurgitating. It doesn't matter how many good things you observe and regurgitate. You have had all kinds of things that you've put in your vortex that you don't claim under those conditions. You claim them under the condition, and this is really the mindset. This is the theory. This is the conceptual that we want you to acknowledge exists before you work your way into it. I have the ability to vibrationally align and practice and become all that life has caused me to desire. And when I do, in the process of becoming it, I'll feel better and better. In the process of doing it, I'll begin to feel energy flow. In the process of becoming it, I will feel the passion that I came to this life to live. And then, and we are not wanting to water this down one little tiny bit, and then manifestation will validate my newfound vibrational alignment. Validate. So we want to talk in terms of the validation of manifestation. We've been saying to you for a long while that there are two ways that you can tell what you're doing vibrationally. One is by the way you feel, and the other is by what's manifesting. Good to know. But we want you to understand that if what's manifesting is tricky or treacherous or uncomfortable, and you don't know what you know about alignment, then you might give in to letting reality train your vibration. That's what a lot of people do. In fact, most people let what is, you've heard us say if you've been listening to us for a while, that most people offer most of their vibration in response to what they are observing. So we're just wanting to call your attention to this vortex that you can also observe. We just want your desire to observe your vortex to be heightened enough that you begin to do the real creative work, because deliberate creation is achieving alignment with who you really are and then letting manifestation validate where you are. And it's so much fun. When you deliberately shift the way you feel, even though circumstances don't really give you a reason to, but you do it anyway. And why would you do it? Because you're supposed to feel good. Why else would you do it? Because you're supposed to feel good. Why else would you do it? Because you're supposed to feel good. Why else would you do it? Because you're supposed to feel good. Why else would you do it? Because you're supposed to feel good. Why else would you do it? Because you're supposed to feel good. Really the only reason. Well, there is another reason. Because who you really are has already done it, and if you don't do it, you won't feel good. But you're supposed to feel good. 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 You are supposed to feel good no matter what. Now, there are many people that say, that's just stupid. How could anybody feel good under those conditions? And we say, because you're supposed to feel good. You're supposed to feel good because you are the creator of the conditions, you see. And when you get it that you're supposed to feel good and you find alignment and you do feel good, and then you watch manifestation mimic the goodness that you feel, now you have control of manifestations. And isn't that what deliberate creation is? So when we say to you, don't try to control the uncontrollable, what we mean by that is, don't try to manipulate the manifestations. Instead, do the vortex work. And here is the phrase that we want you to remember forever. Let your vortex affect the manifestation. Let the energy that creates worlds create your world, you see. You sort of getting the hang of this? We really enjoy visiting with you and watching you as you are moving through the details of your life experience, because there are so many things that you think about that don't serve you and that don't cause you any real discomfort immediately, because you have, we love you very much, become accustomed to, we love you so much. enduring ridiculous things. You get ornery about things, and because it doesn't kill you in the moment, you let the orneriness persevere. You have principles that you carry around that don't serve you, have never served you, aren't serving you, and will never serve you. But because they're not killing you, you carry them on and you teach them to your children. And then you put them in detention when they don't agree with you about your principles. You have, we love you very much, become those who endure negative emotion to a certain degree. In other words, you all have your thresholds. You all have your endurance levels, sort of depending upon what you've bumped up against. You are not nearly, we love you very much, as picky as we would like you to be about feeling good all of the time. Because you got to understand, we feel good all the time. Because we want to. And we don't see any reason why not to, since that's the part of the agreement that we are involved in. We hold vibrational maintenance with the furthest request that mankind or you individually have come to. We hold the vision that life has caused you to give birth to. And we hold it so powerfully that there is never a time that you don't have access to it. If you care about the rendezvous more than you do about justifying or rationalizing or being right. Are you following what we're getting at? Now, most of you are in a situation where what you are witnessing is aggravating, annoying. You can put yourself into a state of fear if you try real hard, but mostly you don't. And so you may have heard us say, you don't really do the work because it's not painful enough to you not to. This isn't the basis of teaching that we were wanting to give to you. In other words, it is not our desire that you wait until things are unbearable before you begin doing the work. But the reason that we're talking to you as we are in this way is because we know, we can feel who you are coming from all over the place. There are 63 countries playing with us here today. Nice to feel you all out there. Every state, all 50 states are listening in and participating. Jerry is listening from San Antonio and taking notes and enjoying. And what we are wanting you to realize as we are all playing together in this vibrational environment is that the larger part of you always reigns supreme. And anytime you are reaching for alignment with it, your life will be fuller and better in this moment, in this moment, in this moment, in this moment. And that's really what deliberate creation is. It's keeping up with who you are, or at least making an effort to keep up with who you are. And the more you do that, the more joyful your life will be. And the less freaked out you will be about exploring in the realms of the unwanted, because you came as physical creators and as physical manifestors, deliberately intending to sift through the data to give birth to desires. If you find yourself, and Jerry and Esther have heard themselves saying this a little bit in the last months. Now what? Now what? In other words, now what? What is life going to solicit from us now? Now what? Now what? Because dreams that we've held for a very long time are now manifested. Now what? Now what? Now what? What deeper, richer, more meaningful desires can be born? What desires can hatch to which we can find alignment that will cause a manifestation that will be over the moon thrilling, you see. And that's the thing that we want you to realize is available to you all day, every day. You are expansive, deliberate, genius creators. But we can only apply the deliberate word when and if, when and if, when and if, when. We can only apply the deliberate word when you care how you feel as much as we care how we feel. Occasionally over the years, Esther has said, Abraham, I'm not in a good place. And I now understand that this negative emotion that I'm feeling means that I have caused a vibrational resistance, separation's too strong a word, between where you are and where I am. So if you were any kind of a friend or inner being or angel or God force, if you were half what you are cracked up to be, you would come over here where I am and hold my hand until I feel better. And we say, you're kidding, right? You want us to leave the vortex so that we can help you back in? How could that possibly work? Your only chance of feeling good is to know that we're here and feel for us. That's what your emotions are. Your emotions are your indicator of your success or lack of success, of aligning with who you really are or not. Are you getting this? So you cause the expansion of the source within you, and then the source within you holds steady the vibration, holding bright the light, holding bright the signal, holding bright the feeling, knowing the well-being that you've added and added and added and added so that you can feel your way into alignment, because that's what rings your bells. Now, many of you say, I don't really get this. So I was source energy, and now I'm focused in this body where I can align with it, but I could not align with it. Tell me again, why would I do that? Why would I come out into a real world with manifestations that could hold me apart from who I really am? And we say, because you wanted to take the bounce, because you wanted to expand, because if you don't know what you don't want, you can't know what you do want, because the comparison and the contrast is necessary for focusing all things. And since you are an eternal being, you wanted the opportunity to expand. Do you get that? Does that make sense to you logically? So you cause this expansion. So now we'll stand back in your shoes. So, all right, so I get that. I came for the service. That isn't what we said. You didn't come for service. You came for the joy of expansion. Okay, so I came for the joy of expansion. The joy of expansion. I came for the joy of expansion. I came to want things I don't have. Tell me again why? Because there isn't anything that you can't have. And wanting a new thing is what life is. Wanting a new thing is the expansion. It's the breathing of the newness into you and into all that is. Okay. So I sacrificed myself for your expansion. That isn't what we said. You came to explore, to cause expansion, because once that rocket is there, once your vortex has it, once your inner being has become it, now there is a current that calls you, and it is that calling that is the friskiness of life. It's that calling that is the passion of life, you see. If you're not being called, you're not alive. So you keep mixing it up and being called because it feels so good to be called if you're answering the call. It feels horrible to be called if you're not. So you only ask the question, tell me again, why would I do this? Something must have gone terribly wrong. When you're not following, but why would you ever not do that? Why would you ever not let yourself go? Because reality is too compelling. And we say, stop it. Reality doesn't mean diddly squat. Reality is only the current manifestation based upon the most average or the most often or the most chronic offered vibrations. You see what we're getting at? All right. We've given you the theory. We've given you the conceptual. You sort of understand it. Many of you have had enough life experience, because words don't teach, that as we were chewing with you there, you were getting it. You were getting the feeling of it. You were remembering things about it. And now we are eager to talk with you about anything that is important to you. It is our desire to assist you in lining up with what's in your vortex, because we have such full view of who you really are and all that you've become. And we actually can't even really fathom how you stand not being there. We don't even let ourselves go there. We don't try to speculate how you got so strong to endure the less than fantastic vibration that is really you, because we know it's all part of the mix. We just think that in this step 3 process, step 1 is ask, and life causes you to do that all day, every day. Step 2 is source becomes what you've asked for and holds the vibrational frequency of it until you are able to accomplish step 3, which is bring yourself into vibrational alignment with what you've asked for.